Okay. Yeah, that's number 2. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, I got an email, and so just to I'm just playing it safe. I had to delete that live just for the sake of protecting my channel. Um yeah, I went ahead and we're starting fresh. We're starting over. Okay. No, it wasn't Court TV. Court TV did not strike me, but I don't want them to. But Court TV did not strike me. So I'm not blaming Court TV. They're actually pretty cool about letting you stream their shit. Um, but no, I didn't get a strike or anything like that. So, everything's all good. Everything's all good. Okay. I just made a decision, and I'm just playing it safe. So anyway, yeah, that's all it was. Not a big deal. Everything's okay. All right. Yeah, now Twitter's, what's going on? Okay, no, everything's fine. I promise everything's okay. So no, it wasn't it wasn't Court TV. They were fine. Let me actually okay. Let's finish off these thoughts here. Let them yeah, so for those of you catching the replay, you're not going to get a lot of context. And all my best stuff is gone. So this isn't probably going to be the best live for all you replayers, but for those of you that are here, you're back a second time. I appreciate you joining me a second time. But for those of you catching the replay, just to give you some context, I had to get rid of my last live, and I'm picking it up from there. And so you're only kind of getting like the second half of the live, and I apologize for that. But I appreciate you watching. Thank you.
Sex. So he was going to engage in violent sex one way or the other, whether she agreed to it and it was part of some fantasy that he described to her, or whether he was going to make up some excuse to punish her with extreme sexual violence. I mean, it's just it's a horrific case that had every factor relative to impending lethality, and that's exactly what happened. It's just a tragedy.
It is, and if the allegations are true, it's sadistic and sad. Let's quickly take a look, though, at some more of Farwell's alleged sexual preferences revealed in court documents. On several occasions, Farwell sent Birchmore text messages directing her to act as if she were being raped during the ensuing encounter. He also had Birchmore join a sexual role play in which he posed as her older brother and simulated non-consensual incest. Just quickly, Dr. Ho, this takes it to a whole nother level, because now you've added incest and role playing and rape. Is this typical of somebody who...
All right, now listen to me. So the reason why these things are really disgusting to me is because she was a minor. She was groomed by this guy. But I mean, I've met people with, some of those similar kinks. There's like S&M is not an uncommon kink at all. Again, as I've explained before, as long as it's amongst consenting adults. It doesn't count that Sandra Birchmore was an adult, because this stuff started when she was a kid. So anything that was even done while she was an adult is still immoral, disgusting, And we can tell what kind of a predator he is. We can tell what kind of shit that this guy thinks about. I mean, we're talking about the kind of stuff where he clearly crosses the line besides his victim, is necrophilia and incest and things of that nature. But I mean, the thing is there are women who enjoy a rape fantasy. There are grown, perfectly comfortable with their sexuality women who enjoy rape fantasy, or are at least curious about it. They have these things. They have these fantasies. And it does happen. And there are couples who want to spice things up. There are, you know, um, I mean, no, Zimmy. See, that's the thing is we don't, we don't. At least I don't. I don't kink shame here at all. I don't kink shame here at all. Whatever you're into, you're into. The problem with this is that it involves a young woman who never had a chance to actually grow into being a woman. So all of this shit is immoral. But the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of people that have the things that they're into, and I don't. I just want to be clear that even though Court TV is painting a picture here of being very, very judgmental towards these kinks, they're technically not doing it. They're being very specific as to what the charges are here. So, or what the evidence is. And the fact that Sandra Birchmore is most definitely a victim. So whatever you're into, you're into. There's no kink shaming here. Just understand that the reason why this is scoffed on so much is because of the circumstances with Sandra Birchmore's grooming and everything else.
Who exploits kids for sexual abuse.
Well, I think this is somebody who's being very honest about his internal monologue as he's doing the exploitation. And notice that it's not enough for him, right? So now she has to pretend she's a 13-year-old rather than the age that she was when they had sex, which is around the age of 15. Now this is an incest situation. This is a rape and violence situation, as Judge Erskine already pointed out. This is showing his inner sexual proclivities. And sometimes people aren't this honest and outright, but I think he knew he had enough control over her that he could say that to her, and she would essentially bend to his every wish.
Yeah, I think you're right. A big thank you to Dr. Judy Ho for joining us tonight. We know how valuable your time is. It's greatly appreciated. Judge Erskine will be sticking with us as we investigate our final question of the evening. Who else was involved?
It is disheartening to have to charge law enforcement officers, especially with crimes as serious. But it's our job at the Department of Justice to investigate potential crimes without fear and without favor.
One of the most successful true crime TV shows ever.
This is crazy.
Now has a new home on America.
Officers.
All right, we heard that.
Now this is referred to as person 2 in court.
Let's move on here. Chloe Albert, butt dialing is a preference. Melissa, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I was still laughing about the butt dialing. Aiden just posted something. Let me see what this is. Somebody want to add some context here for me? Might not even have anything to do with anything, but I don't recognize the people in this photo. He says, "This is Michael Gaffney and his wife Corrine. When we met, he told me he was separated, but still very close with her." Now this isn't Turtle Boy's words. He just reposted like this posting from someone, an anonymous member of Sis This Your Man, and I guess it's like somebody who got busted cheating, right? So this is Michael Gaffney and his wife Corrine. When we met, he told me he was separated but still very close with her. They moved to St. Pete, Tampa from Massachusetts. He lives in Ybor and she is in St. Pete. He's a former lawyer and total narcissist. The entire time we dated, he was still banging his wife and lying about it. He will gaslight you and punish you if you question his relationship with Corrine. 100% sure. Who's Gaffney? He predates Karen Reed. Okay, so this is a separate story. This has nothing to do with Karen Reed or Sandra Birchmore. Okay, just one of his old haters. Okay. Appreciate that. Thank you. And that brings me to my next thing here. You guys are going to love me for this one. Now, I heard the word Carney, blogger Carney, and then I paused it because I like to react. So
talking about it, writing about it, often becomes actionable. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about the prevailing theme throughout blogger Carney's discussion. The prevailing theme was that Sandra Birchmore was targeted because, quote,
oh my God, lady.
She's damaged. She's damaged goods.
Oh my God. That's not the prevailing theme, you dummy. That's not the prevailing theme at all. What are you talking about? That she's
Boo, you suck.
You're wrong. Hold on, let's hear that one more time.
Theme. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about the prevailing theme throughout blogger Carney's discussion.
Wow.
The prevailing theme
Today, Junior.
Sandra Birchmore was targeted because, quote, she's damaged. She's damaged goods. And I want to say that sadly, this is a prevailing mentality of many sexual predators. I want to segue into a little bit.
Wow.
Stephen Stearns. Stefan Stearns. I'm going to call him that. Stefan, how he spells his name. And, you know, we know that there were.
So what is she saying? Is she saying that Aiden is a fucking predator because he's spinning a prevailing theme, according to her, that she was targeted because she's damaged goods?
1,700 photos. That's what was recovered. We know she was victimized at least since she was 11 years old.
No, I haven't watched Turtle Boy since his channel got suspended because honestly, I haven't. I know he's been streaming on Rumble, but I haven't even I got a new phone a while back and I haven't even downloaded Rumble onto my phone, I don't think.
Years old. 11 years old. We will probably get to see, certainly if he goes to trial, and it's a death penalty case. So unless they decide to offer him a deal, which I certainly hope they don't, I say go full force at him Don't offer him any details. They have all the information right there. This is a incredibly strong case. You don't need to offer him a deal. And
Now,
essentially,
yeah, Turtle Boy's channel got suspended because he has haters, dude. Like, he doesn't hold back, and anything that can be construed as bullying or anything like that, anything that can be twisted and it can be perceived as bullying, YouTube will go ahead with the strike if they report it, if it's mass reported. Now, YouTube doesn't like mass reports. They don't like that shit. You mass report a channel, eventually it's gonna again have the Streisand effect, and then Turtle Boy's channel is you're not gonna be able to do shit because people are gonna see that his channel is being targeted. But the problem is that if he has content that YouTube feels like, well, if it could even be perceived as bullying, then okay. Now, that's not to say that just somebody playing a victim because somebody's talking about them, that they're going to strike your channel. That's not what I mean. But I mean, Turtle Boy's just got some devout fucking haters, and they're going to do everything they can to take him down. So, and it sucks, but eventually this strike will expire. Maybe he can appeal it again. I messaged him. It was very brief, in regards to what to do about his channel. His answers were very brief. He says he appealed it, and the appeal was denied. So I don't know. And that's the whole thing is I think it sucks because Turtle Boy's right about the stuff that he's saying, most of the time. I don't think that we see completely eye to eye on the Sandra Birchmore thing. I think that we have some difference of opinion there, but I mean, that's the thing is, I mean, we can all have difference of opinion here. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. But because I have a difference of opinion on certain things, I'm not even close to entertaining the idea that he might be a predator. It's ridiculous. And this woman is doing everything she can to try to spin that narrative somehow, and she's not even good at it. It's ridiculous.
So I think, which was reinforced by Madeline Soto's mother, who I hope someday is possibly charged. She allowed that monster to sleep with her child, with her young child in another room.
What does that have to do with Sandra Birchmore?
She knew they were sleeping together. What boyfriend do you allow to sleep with your 11, 12, 13-year-old? You don't. They even all three slept together in the same bed.
Right. Because, that never happens. Because when I covered the Long thing, everybody was like, oh, how dare you make that accusation? I was like, I didn't make the accusation. The child did. And so what happens? Because you have the Stern case that she's referring to, and then somebody ends up dead. Right? But I get all this criticism today because of my coverage of the Long case, and all of the evidence that I went over gave plenty of reason why. And all I ever asked was that they actually conduct a thorough investigation into that case. That's all I asked for. Just look into the child's claims. What good is it that we teach our children to come forward when these things allegedly happen to them, that we shoot them down and call them liars? So what I was fighting for was this being as dangerous as it was. I wasn't saying one way or the other. I was saying, yes, I believe the child. And I was very curious as to why the mother of this child hired a PR firm. I thought that was a little odd. Why did she hire a PR firm? It's very strange. And this and this PR person sent all these phony cease and desists, which I just wiped my ass with, but it was funny. But there was a lot of behavior, and when you watch the video of this child, she is deathly afraid of the environment that her mother provides for her. No 11-year-old no, I'm sorry, excuse me, 9-year-old child, she was 9 at the time. No 9-year-old child is that afraid of the environment that they're no willful child like this is going to be that afraid of the environment that her own mother provides for her unless there was something wrong with that environment. All I wanted was that the proper authorities look into the situation, into that home, into that environment. That's all I wanted. But everyone was like, oh my God, that doesn't happen. No mother would ever allow this to happen to their child. Okay, you wouldn't as a mother, sure. But I mean, people, she's confidant right here is describing a case where it did happen.
I would love to get a lie detector test on that to discuss those interactions when they were in bed together. But anyway,
now what's funny is
the long and the short.
I don't know what the fucking point of this is. Maybe she's about to make the point. She's about to say the long and the short of it is, okay, what was the point of bringing that up?
Part of it is, I wonder how Stearns felt about little Madeline Soto. I say this because look at what he did to her. Strangled her and then threw her away like trash in the woods. Actions always speak louder than any words. And all I have to do is see those actions to know how he regarded her. And I would say that he regarded her just in the same way that we see blogger Carney talk about Sandra Birchmore. He's very forceful about it. She was damaged goods. That's his words over and over and over again. Damaged goods. Because she wasn't, he mentions about maybe her not being as bright or is, that she had, I don't know why.
And she won't say Turtle Boy because she thinks that it's going to plug his channel. Like, she's so delusional and thinks that fucking people are watching her. Like, a lot of people. Like, she has, this is fucking how many days old? I can never find, oh, yeah. This is streamed 1 day ago, meaning that this was streamed yesterday or the day before. And she has 16,000 subs. Dude, like, I have more than double that. She's an FBI agent. She has, and why does she tag Rachel Morin? It's weird. And and she has, how many views on this? 1.6 thousand views.
Why? But he said, I'll paraphrase a bit.
And she thinks that she's influencing, that she has some sort of influence over anybody watching Turtle Boy or giving him clicks or views that are actually going to make a difference.
She was easy and not challenging because she was damaged.
See,
that is the
she's now. I think I heard Turtle Boy talking about this. I think I heard him talking about this, and yeah, Zimmy, I'm with you. She's absolutely twisting this, trying to manipulate the audience, which is ridiculous. I mean, if I remember correctly, Turtle Boy was saying that this was Farwell's mindset. that he figured she was damaged goods and she was easy to manipulate. And the other people who groomed her figured the same. So, and the fact is she just doesn't like that she got reviewed, and she made these comments talking about Sandra Birchmore being in a relationship. And she's actually the one who implied these things. She's actually the one that implied. I went over it. She's actually the one that implied that that she is that Sandra Birchmore was in these relationships and didn't use the words damaged goods, but basically implied and described what damaged goods would be.
Is the mentality of a predator. Right there. Period. End of story. And he's reciting it. He talks a lot about how there's nothing wrong having these fantasies, whether they're fantasies about rape, whether it's fantasies about molesting children. He talks about that. Nothing wrong with it. If that's your thing, if you like 14-year-olds. But he says where Farwell went wrong was that he acted on it. And he basically just calls him an idiot. There's no regard for what he did. In other words, there's no enraged for the type of actions this man had. He groomed Sandra Birchmore from the age of 12. He's going to the library with her. He was, studying with her. I think he was 26 years old or so. Who does that? You don't do that. No, there's nothing normal about that. You're not interacting on Facebook and hanging out with a 12-year-old. Takes a virginity at 15. And this was interesting too, how blogger Carney talks about that,
Yeah, I listened to that, and Corn Pope is 100% correct. He said it was illegal. It was illegal. And I agree with Aiden in the sense that, because I mentioned this earlier, I agree in the sense that these people have these thoughts. They have these compulsions. This is what turns them on. This is what they like. A serial killer gets turned on by being a sick fuck that kills people. Acting on it is illegal. You have these kind of thoughts, you go to a therapist, and if the therapist thinks that you're a danger to yourself or others, they commit you. Period. That's it. So she's absolutely trying to twist and say that he's a predator because he's somehow justifying Farwell's thoughts. He's not. The fact of the matter is, the reality of the situation is that there are men out there who have these thoughts, and your thoughts are uncontrollable. What's controllable is whether or not you can act on them. And as I stated before, if you act on these thoughts, or whether you act on these thoughts or not, you don't belong in our society because you're going to act on them eventually. That is my opinion. You're going to act on them eventually, and you should be locked up.
Oh, it's a setup. How could you not see? It's not a setup. If this young girl at the time, again, dad at 23, still a young woman, I think, and this is my view, I think she probably really loved him. She looked up to him, certainly, initially.
Okay. She didn't know what love was yet. That kind of love, she was incapable of it because she was robbed of that capability. It was literally raped out of her. That's the effect that takes place. If you knew anything about victims, then you would know this. She was not capable of loving in that way, which is why she wanted a baby, in my opinion. My opinion is that this is why she wanted a baby, was because she wanted real love out of that situation. She convinced herself, she thought she loved him. She believed that she loved him, but no, she was not capable of that kind of love because this love was ripped from her. It was snatched from her. The ability to do this was robbed from her.
As, police officer is something she had hoped to become. He was, I believe, 6'4". He was in the military for 4 years. He'd been a police officer for, I believe I calculated 16 years.
And
he was an explosives guy. He was a firearms officer. This was like Mr. Macho, if you look at it.
Now, this is also very telling. The overall observation to make here is that if you are such a victim's advocate and you are a former law enforcement and you expect us to take you so seriously, Jennifer Coffendorfer, why are you making this about Turtle Boy? Why does what Turtle Boy has to say about this matter to you? What do you care? Shouldn't you be simply focused on educating your audience? From, with your insight, from your vast experience as a victim's advocate? Shouldn't you do that? You know how I know you're not actually a victim's advocate? Because it's not a priority for you to advocate for a victim right now.
It that way. And yet, blogger Carney is blaming her because he does that. He, in fact, says that Sandra Birchmore bribed Matthew Farwell. How is that for inverting fact? How is that for inverting the victimization?
Bro, I went to speed this up and it's already sped up.
From the young woman who began being victimized at 12. That Sandra Birchmore bribed Matthew Farwell.
That's not what he said. He said she blackmailed him. But
how is that for inverting fact?
But what's funny is your buddy Plevin said the same shit. The only difference is Plevin only painted a picture that was exactly why, and that was the motive. He blamed, Plevin actually did the victim blaming when he said the words blackmail. Turtle Boy didn't actually blame her for that. Turtle Boy just simply said that was the motive, as I recall. I could be wrong, but as I remember it, Turtle Boy was just simply saying that was the motive. I believe that was part of the motive, but as I understand it, Turtle Boy just said that it was the motive. Plevin was the one that actually blamed her by saying that she was playing with fire. The guy that you like to panel up with. Your buddy, who's also a mouthpiece for the McAlberts.
For inverting the victimization from the young woman who began being victimized at 12 to the police officer who was in his late 20s, his 30s, for 10 years had this relationship with her. And now we've switched it. Was it the other way around? Listen, you be quiet about me raping you at 15 and I'll give you a child. You just please be quiet. She didn't want to be quiet. I think she wanted to sing to the world because that's what women do when we're in love, when we're happy, when we are in a relationship. Sorry, I'm going to reach over and turn on my light because my sun went down. You want to, woo, that's bright. You want to sing to the world about your relationship. I want to tell everybody. You want to have a child with the person you love. Excited about it. She'd set up to have a photography session. And the reason I say this arrangement was likely his arrangement after she was talking about, wanting to have a child, is because when she told him, he was enraged. Enraged. At best, it was a bad communication between the two. But clearly, and I think it was the same situation, likely it will come out with Madeline Soto, that Madeline Soto was perhaps going to say something. She was done with it. She was done with being treated like garbage, like damaged goods, as Aidan Kearney would say.
Wow.
Want to go on to some other points he made.
This lady is fucking useless.
He talked a lot about how women.
This lady's such a fucking joke.
Like being raped. That there's women out there. They like having, his quote, a gun put to their head. That's what he said.
That's actually true, but
I don't know who he's hanging around, but I think he could be getting this. Maybe from this sex cult, maybe from what he's done.
oh my God. So, okay. So the sex cult thing again, right? Did she really? So is she saying that that there's a real sex cult? She's really spinning this narrative that there's a Turtle Boy sex cult? Because that's the sex cult I want to join, is the one run by a guy named Turtle Boy. Come on, dude. Like, no offense to him. I love Turtle Boy. I think he's great. You know? But I'm not joining the Turtle Boy sex cult. You know what I mean? There's just something that doesn't really appeal to my to my loins about, you know, the idea of oh, here we're all just all about free love. We're all about free love. We all touch each other and we all fuck each other and we put guns to each other's heads. It's all good, man. Yeah. Who's in charge here? Who runs this? Turtle Boy. Wait, who? Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy runs the sex cult. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nancy Joe, thank you so much. Wow, it's very generous. Wow. Sending you a message. It's an idea, just a thought. Okay. All right. Where'd you send it to? I mean, dude, come on, man. You know what I mean, lady? Like, it's like you're just trying to tell people that you're fucking reaching now. Now, I mean, come on, dude. That's what's going on here. The whole fucking world. There's a national standout for Karen Reed because people are part of Turtle Boy's sex cult. You know what I mean? Like, what do people do? Do they dress up like Turtle Boy, like turtle furries? They wear those big turtle costumes like the one dude that was standing out, and where was it? Plymouth? Like, that dude, it's just full of a bunch of those people just fucking and sucking each other, raping each other and holding guns to each other's heads and being like, yeah, that's awesome. What are you talking about, lady? It's nationwide now, right? That's what's going on now. Like, is Miss Shorty running the fucking Australian branch? And Nurse Kim, by the way, I don't know. Nurse Kim, I like her channel, man. And there's she's saying that I'm that she's hidden from the channel and I can't find her in my hidden list. I have no idea why she's hidden from the channel. No idea why. I like her channel. But it was brought to my attention on Twitter. I tried to find her in the hidden list and I couldn't find her. And I hate that. It really sucks. But I mean, I don't understand how this lady is gonna, on one side of her mouth, talk about how we're all a bunch of paranoid conspiracy theorists, and here she is talking about that Karen Reed supporters are basically a sex cult, you know, run by Turtle Boy. That's just fucking fantastic. By the way, guys, if you want me to check your email, it's $50. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, she said $50. What am I going to do? Not check the email? You know what I mean? So let me just look at it here. Oh, it's really interesting that this person brought this up. I actually thought of doing this in the fucking shower today. That is crazy that I got this email for this idea. So basically this person is proposing that I do a 24-hour stream fundraiser for like Karen Reed's 24 hours though. I don't know. I'll probably do 12. I'll probably do 12, but 24, I don't know, man. I can't go 24 hours without going to the gym. Like, that's not going to happen. So I might do a 12-hour stream though, like a 12-hour stream where I just fucking stream bullshit, take calls, whatever, and just keep Karen's defense fund pinned to the top of the chat. And by the way, it's always in my description. So if you guys ever want to donate to Karen Reed's defense fund, it's always in my description. You're free to do that. But yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea because I thought of it myself. Actually, I thought of doing it. But 24, I've thought about it like 24 hours. Ooh, 12. I might be able to swing that. But speaking of swinging, let's get back to the Turtle Boys sex cult. Ooh, oh, cowabunga. Wow, this lady's out of her mind.
Maybe the women he's involved with. It's not normal. That is the type of precursory.
Okay. And now she's kink shaming because again, consenting adults. And I'll say this shit out loud on a live. If you get off on having a gun pointed to your head while you have sex, it's not something that I would engage in. But if two consenting adults decide to do that, and they are trained on how to handle a gun, it's not loaded, there's actually no real danger, it's just a fantasy, knock yourselves the fuck out. No judgment whatsoever. No judgment at all. As a matter of fact, you can do it in my sex cult. Special guest, Turtle Boy. Ooh. No, I'm just kidding. No. But yeah, absolutely. Like, who gives a fuck, dude? Like, yes, and there are lots of women who like to simulate a rape fantasy. It is not uncommon. It is not uncommon. It's very common, actually. Very common. Again, Jennifer Twattendorfer definitely has suction cup rings on her bathtub. Definitely.
Actions and things that are done before committing similar criminal acts. I really hope the Bureau is all over this guy, watching what's happening. There's a huge similarity.
Dude, the Bureau's watching Turtle Boy and cracking up. That's what's going on. The Bureau's watching Turtle Boy and cracking up. Because I guarantee you the Bureau's watching him. I guarantee that the FBI is watching him. I would not be surprised at all if they were watching me. I would not be surprised. But I can guarantee you that if they are investigating Michael Morrissey's office, they are looking into Turtle Boy. Why? Because Michael Morrissey's office is prosecuting Turtle Boy on bogus charges. So I guarantee you they're looking at Turtle Boy right now. I love it that she brought that up because, yeah.
I think between Farwell and Stephen Stearns, right? They both strangled their victims. It's a lot going on when somebody strangles a victim. And I think what some people may not realize, and for those of you in the audience that do realize this or do know this, when you strangle somebody, although quickly when the oxygen is cut off to the carotid artery, when the asphyxiation process starts, whether it's with a ligature or manual strangulation, while the person will pass out pretty quickly. I teach a lot about this in self-defense classes. How?
Okay. Twattendorfer, shut up. Listen. There are two types of people when it comes to game, right? Not even when it comes to game, just two types of men, sexually active men or not, right? But two types of guys, right? There are men who women feel comfortable saying the words choke me daddy to. Okay. And then there are Brian Higgins in the world. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Like, Brian Higgins has never had a woman tell him, choke me, daddy. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. It's never happened. Okay? any any sexually active male in this chat, and I know there's only maybe like 22% of my demographics are male. Okay? Like, and ladies, some of you guys are like, gross. That's fine. Those of you who are saying that it's gross, you're either just not into that, and that's fine, and there's no different than somebody who is, in my opinion, or you're a fucking liar. I'm telling you, I've seen different people come out in the bedroom, man. I have seen that happen where I'm just like, whoa, who is this all of the sudden? What is going on, young lady? What is happening here? It happens. I'm just saying, and it happens pretty often. Now, I don't know if I give off that vibe. I don't know if I do or not, but I'm telling you, those are words that I have heard a lot more often than I ever imagined, like before I became sexually active, that I would ever hear. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm surprised by how common that is all. Not anymore. I'm not surprised anymore. There was a point in my life where I was just like, wait, what? Why is that like every woman? Like, what the fuck is going on? And then I was just like, yeah, all right. Whatever gets you off, that's fine.
How such small time you have to get out of that hold. But it takes a lot to actually kill somebody, to have them actually die with your hands strangling them. Because if you lay off, circulation begins and they don't die.
I know,
BTK,
right?
Dennis Rader found out a lot about that.
This is still not even worse than a fucking Springer episode that you'd see at this exact time of day. So, yeah, this is still not even worse than that.
He discussed how hard it was to kill somebody. I mean, he was using in his, fledgling startup, bagging people and strangling them. And, it was difficult. It's difficult. Brian Laundrie strangled Gabby Petito.
Right. Exactly. I would imagine it's very difficult. I would imagine so. Because, it happens in the bedroom almost all the time.
Throttled her officially. Also, by the way, did use blunt force trauma about the face. She had bruising on her face and neck. So did Madeline Soto. We know that in the case of Sandra Birchmore, this was a premeditated situation where he was going to stage.
Bukaki's missing dentures. Thank you so much. Could you imagine how boring Lally pillow talk must be? When, if ever, am I going to get there? I am asking for the tweaker dance also. Oh my goodness, the tweaker dance. What tweaker dance?
I think we got a super dance. Super dance. I think we got a super dance. Super dance. Super dance. Super dance. Dance, 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 dance. I think we got a super dance. I think we got a super dance. I think.
Bukaki's missing dentures. Thank you so much. All right, hold on. Here we go.
The strangulation, but she had bruising too. When you're getting somebody under control, her necklace was broken. She had bruising. It's violent and it takes a while. And so I found it very interesting that they had that in common, and that blogger Carney talks about Sandra Birchmore with such disdain and speaks about her exactly what you would expect as an object, as a sexual object, not as somebody that has feelings. And, I termed it that she looked at and regarded Farwell as her boyfriend, as the to-be father of her children. And I think that's how Sandra Birchmore really regarded Farwell.
That's because she was
She loved him.
She was controlled into doing so, you fucking weirdo. You're the only weirdo here. Everyone else understands that she was victimized and she was incapable of having those feelings genuinely for this guy. What are you talking about, lady? What the fuck are you talking about? You dummy.
And that's what these monsters do. They prey upon individuals using very good techniques to groom, and that they're there for them. You know, they understand what they're going through. Stephen Stern said words to that effect, that when she and Madeline and her mother would get into an argument, he was there for her. He was there to comfort her and console her. Well, we know what was really going on with that, but that is the precursor that's used.
Dude, don't you have to take psychology courses or something when you fucking become an FBI agent? Jesus Christ, Caveman, thank you so much. Is this lady for real? She was groomed to be like that. Exactly. Like, those feelings are not genuine love, feelings of love, you dummy. The fuck are you talking about?
I want to talk about a couple other points that blogger Carney made. He talks about her setting him up. She wasn't setting him up. She was talking how she truly felt about particular dates and things that happened on those
I mean, Turtle Boy probably has a case, but this bitch ain't got no money.
dates, and how she felt at the time about, you know, things that happened physically. And when you read the transcripts, the words, the detention hearing, and we went over that the other night, but the detention hearing paperwork, the motion to have him detained, there's nothing in there that's evil or maniacal on her part. It's evil and maniacal on his part, and his part alone. Let's see. I thought it was very telling when blogger Carney says she was his side piece. That's a quote. Sandra Birchmore was his side piece for 10 years. Now, that is the way that individuals refer to a woman when they have absolutely no regard for a woman. What it reminds me of is interviewing and reviewing interviews of the men in the Hells Angels, the pagans, the outlaws, the hardcore biker gangs, such as those three I named. Women come third, period. You know, their colors, their brotherhood, then their bike, and their women. Their women are nothing more than an object, a side piece. That's it. And when I was listening to this, it reminded me so much of that.
I mean, if you see that movie Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth back in the day, that movie was awesome. Then yeah, you know, they were like, hey, the dude was like, I need a new bitch. And then this dude was like, you can have one of my old ladies. But like, why are you comparing Turtle Boy to that? That's the stupidest shit in the world. Caveman, thank you so much. Sean is going to tear her apart even more. I can't with this joke of an FBI agent. Agreed. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what Sean plans on doing, but yeah, she's a fucking joke.
Of that mentality. Let's see. Talked about
That's what I'm saying, Danielle. Like, what?
I wanted to bring up a little bit of Rachel Morin. Now, we don't know a lot about her alleged, he's not been convicted. None of them have been convicted. They're all alleged. They are innocent in a court of law. Innocent in a court of law. But her alleged victim, we don't know a lot about, Victor Martinez Hernandez. Why? Because he's an illegal alien. He's not here legally, so we don't have him vetted. We don't know about his background. We don't know if he had criminal background in his country. We don't know. We don't know how many people he made.
Thank you, Reality Check.
Tags you two here, at least
Healy just did.
that we know about. The one in Los Angeles.
Awesome. Thank you.
Morin. But again, sexually assaulted, strangled, complete disregard. Now, how was Rachel Morin damaged, if you will? Well, she wasn't damaged in the way that I think blogger Carney is referring to Sandra Birchmore, but she was vulnerable. Why? Because she was by herself even though she was in unbelievable shape, he was stronger, more powerful, and he knew it. And
Why is
remember,
she comparing
he had
Rachel
several
Morin's
things going
case
for him.
to this?
First of all,
She doesn't
and I
know
always
what the
say
fuck
this,
she's
because
talking
this is what I was
about.
taught. Speed,
Rachel Morin is a completely unrelated case. Rachel Morin was attacked in the woods jogging and killed. I don't understand. I don't understand what her logic is here. That makes no sense. Rachel Morin is completely unrelated. It doesn't even.
surprise and superiority of manpower. He likely came upon her so quickly and with such surprise, and the manpower involved. Now, remember, rape is often just about power and control. I always wonder when he decided to murder her, when he beat her, because she had 10 to 15 head wounds. So this wasn't just about one, I'm just going to come up behind her and knock her out. Remember, their biggest excitement is controlling them, and the screaming and the kicking and the fighting. That's the biggest sexual turn on for them. So I don't know at what point he ended up bludgeoning her to death, but I would submit it was, well into the attack that happened. But again, it's the same mentality that women aren't anything other than an object for one's pleasure. And to me, there's no difference between the mentality of Stefan Stearns, of Victor Martinez Hernandez, of Matthew Farwell, and in anyone else who speaks about women and who views women who are dead, pregnant, strangled, abused for 11 years since they were 12 years old as damaged goods. And remember, damaged goods early on.
Okay, stop. You're saying that there's no difference between a rapist and murderer of women and someone who objectifies women. That's what you're saying. That there's no difference. I mean, I hate to bring this up, Coffindoffer, but the only explanation that I can think of as to why you were ever even hired into the FBI is because you were objectified. That's the only logic I can think of, simply because you have yet to say anything that is consistent with anybody that I've ever heard talk that has ever been involved in law enforcement. Not just the FBI, not just one of the most elite law enforcement agencies in the world, but any law enforcement agency. You don't sound like someone who has any experience in law enforcement if I'm comparing them to anybody else that I have ever heard speak who has experience in law enforcement. So the only logical thing that I can think of for you having been hired into the FBI is that you were objectified. What the fuck they were thinking, I have no idea. Because, I mean, again, if you weren't hired for your smarts, skills, then you had to have been hired for your looks. But I'm doubting that only because I mean, just saying.
So I also want to say this, because I see this a lot, and I always say, no, I don't hate anyone. I don't have any hate for anyone. Why? Because I well understand that when you hate somebody or, really dislike them, it only hurts you. It doesn't hurt them. When they're living in your headspace for free, it only hurts you. So it's not about, do I hate Victor Martinez? Do I hate Stefan Stearns? Do I hate Matthew Farwell? Well, I can tell you I hate what they did. I can tell you that I want justice to come their way in the most extreme possible way it can come their way. I can tell you that I hope that justice knocks on the door of Aidan Carney, and that I've seen the probable cause affidavit. If all that is proven, he needs to go to prison for a long time.
Well, here's the thing, is it's not going to be proven because the charging documents that you just described that you read it disproves itself. It's there. It says Aiden Carney said this, and this in this video, title, timestamp. And then you go to it, and it's not what he said. And this happens repeatedly throughout the charging documents. Caveman, thank you so much. They are all scared of Turtle Boy. He might come afterwards, you next, and find out dirt on you. I hate all of them and you. I don't think, yeah. I Offer, if you can hear that, okay. He hates you. Caveman hates you.
Because witness intimidation and witness harassment is at the very core of what we can't have happen if we want justice in our world. I worked gangs for 6 years, and the type of intimidation and harassment that could happen against witnesses so that they would not testify, wouldn't get involved, was horrific. So difficult to make gang cases for that reason. That's why, you had to have intense surveillance. You had to use undercovers.
Oh, shut up. Dude, Turtle Boy's not going to jail because he's got fucking Tim Bradle and Mark Petero. Like, he's good. He's fine. And I mean, besides that, and the only reason I'm saying that is only because he's dealing with a corrupt system. If he wasn't dealing with a corrupt system, I'd just simply be like, Turtle Boy's not going to jail because he didn't do what they're accusing him of. And the law that they're trying to weaponize against him is unconstitutional. So that's the simple fucking reason why he's not going to jail at the end of the day. But he's also not going to jail because he's got Tim Bradle and Mark Petero to argue this for him.
You had to get good informants that would record. So because witnesses disappeared. And it's a sad state of affairs when in a simple case of somebody who was drunk and somebody who hit her boyfriend angry and he died there in the snow, that witnesses that were inside have had to endure harassment and intimidation that they've had to endure. So I certainly hope that justice comes in that case, particularly for Blogger Carney, because if not, where's our criminal justice system? I want to end really quick. I do want to, if there's any questions, I'm going to address those, but I do want to end really quick with reading a letter. This is from a coworker of Sandra. Quote, I didn't know Sandra Birchmore very well. She had been recently hired as a teacher's assistant in my building, but due to different schedules, I never really had a chance to talk to her until that fateful day in February. Goes on to say, she saw me in the hallway and approached me saying that she was pregnant and that the situation was complicated. The father of her baby was married. He had a family, as well as being a police officer for Stoughton. She said that early on, he told her that he loved her. In other words, Farwell told her he loved her. I think that's probably very true. At least that he told her that. And was going to leave his family.
What do you mean? Of course he told her that. The fuck are you talking about? Caveman, thank you so much. She investigated trash can gangs. This lady was involved in agricultural for the FBI cow tipping. Thank you, Caveman.
Remember, that's part of it. That's part of the grooming. I love you. You're the only one I want. However, now she knew that he was never going to leave his family for her. She then said that she was worried because he was extremely angry when he found out that she was pregnant. He told her that this wasn't part of the plan. He wanted her to get rid of the baby. So when I hear early on, I talked about how Blogger Carney say that it was a bribery thing and everything. That is not what I'm reading here, at least from this witness and some of the other statements we've seen. In other words, she wasn't beginning the bribery that I see. Once I could get a word in, I asked her how she felt about that. And she told me that she was excited as well as nervous about being a mom soon. She said that she was going to keep the baby and that they would be a little family. She then said that she had recently purchased baby items, such as a car seat and
Oh, and you know what, man? Like, I've never seen more judgmental people than in the true crime community, dude. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, now this case is different. This is part of the reason why I love covering this case, because that hasn't attracted this case. Covering this case has not attracted those types of people much anyway. But man, the community that I kind of left behind, man, it's just like that, man. It's crazy. The Watts case, like everyone, just because if there's one thing that women in the true crime community hate, and the true crime community is made up of mostly women, but if there's anything they hate, it's a fucking side chick in one of these things. The side chick always had something to do with the murder. Always, according to the true crime community. Always. And that's not necessarily true. I mean, there's stuff that's kind of shady about Nicole Kessinger. You know what I mean? But there's no evidence. There's no evidence that she actually had anything to do with the murder of Shanann Watts and Bella and Cece, little baby Nico, unborn baby Nico. There's no evidence to indicate that Nicole Kessinger had anything to do with that, other than being part of the motive, you know. But that's not her fault. You know what I mean? Now, like, and she's actually a really good example because everybody wants to judge the side chick. Like, dude, first of all, judge your husband. If you're sitting up here and you're just like, oh my God, like, the side chick, it's all the side chick's fault, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, why is it the side chick fault? And then somehow the conversation veers into, oh, well, my husband cheated on me with this one floozy and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh, I see now. I see you. It's all about the trauma from your husband cheating on you. But shouldn't you be pointing the finger at your husband? Because here's the thing. With a side chick, you got to understand the mentality of some side chicks. Some side chicks are just like, you know what? I want the lack of complication. Now that sounds stupid because you're like, why, if you don't want complications, why the fuck are you hooking up with a married guy? Well, if a lot of women's mentality, I'm not saying this is the right mentality to have. I'm just saying a lot of women have this mentality where they're like, hey, that's less problems, dude. Like this guy, I don't want some dude chasing after me. I don't want some dude fucking spending the night at my fucking house. I just want to get fucking nailed. And that's all I want. I don't want any. And the best fucking thing to do is go after a married guy who's going to keep me on the side as is and isn't going to complicate that. And they're not going to fuck with that dynamic that I'm already very comfortable with. That happens. I mean, is it unfair for a woman to go, hey, whatever the fuck, you know, whatever's going on in their marriage is none of my fucking business. But you know what? That dude, he's not happy. And I have a good time with the dude. And it is what it is. And that's just some shit he's going to have to fucking deal with. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, in the sense that, like, I mean, yeah, the sanctity of marriage and blah, 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 you should respect it. But I'm saying it doesn't mean that just because that woman is capable of that and she applies that logic to just getting dick down, that this person is capable of conspiring to commit murder of children. You know what I mean? It's not even close to the same thing. You know? A lot of women are just like, they prefer to be side chicks because they're like, I don't want the complication of being in a relationship. I don't want to deal with some dude who's going to fucking, I want the freedom of just, sex with this person because we've got a good sexual dynamic and whatever. And the day that his wife finds out, then that'll be the day that it's over. And I don't give a fuck beyond that. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, it's just like, that's why I don't really even get into those things. I don't get into the whole dynamic between husband and wife in these cases so much because, like, one thing really doesn't have anything to do with the other until it does. Like there's infidelity happening all over the place. I'd say safe to say fucking 100% of this chat has either cheated on somebody or has been cheated on. 100% of this chat right now has either cheated on somebody or have been cheated on. My point being is being cheated on or cheating on somebody is part of life. It fucking happens. It is part of life. Two people have some sort of fucking dynamic between the two of them, and they get together and they let their physical attraction get the best of them, and they act on it, and it fucking happens. People get bored in their marriage. People get bored in their relationships. It just is what it is. But not everybody fucking murders each other, do they? You know what I mean? Like, just because you're capable of cheating on somebody or sleeping with a person who's in a committed relationship, that does not mean that you're capable of murdering or conspiring to commit murder. It is not what that means. Like, you don't get to do that, you know? I mean, that's like saying that, you know, somebody who likes to fucking dress up like a clown and entertain kids at a kid's birthday party is a fucking child molester. That's not necessarily true. The fuck? If he's a priest, he's a child molester. That's not necessarily true. Caveman, thank you. Will Dick down true. All right. Will Dick down true. Everybody's fucking been cheated on, man. And it sucks. It hurts. It does. It fucking sucks. It's terrible. It's a terrible feeling. It's a terrible feeling when the person who you share everything with, you have this disgusting secret, because not only are you having these secrets, but you're also, it sends an underlying message that the person who thought they were good enough for you turns out that they're not. So it's a complicated situation, but it doesn't equate to murder.
For the baby. She wanted to be prepared as she could. She was going to show him what she got for the baby, although she wasn't sure how he was going to react.
That's
Again,
not
these were
true.
Huge clues in my book.
See, that's not true. That's not true, KPT. Married 28 years, still no cheating in sight. Men cheat because wives don't put out when they were dating. That's not necessarily true. That's one of the many, many reasons why men cheat. But men cheat at the end of the day because they're fucking men. You know, men cheat because, you know, we don't get the same attention. And I'm not justifying cheating. I'm just explaining what happens. Okay. Men cheat because women end up, women, it's easier for women to turn men down because men are always trying to get with women. We all have this craving of wanting to feel wanted. We all have this crazy craving of wanting to feel, desired. We all have this craving for that kind of attention. Every single one of us do. But men don't get it the same way. Don't get those kind of desires and attention the way that women do. We just don't. So a lot of men just look at it like, fuck. Oh my God, when am I ever going to get this again? This feeling of that fire between us, I don't know when I'm ever going to get that again. And that's the thing, is you have that mixed with the man's natural instinct to spread his seed. That is why men cheat. They have to, there's a conscious or an unconscious instinct to conquer. That takes place. Good men have to overcome this need. Good men have to realize, okay, well, you know what? That's not cool because it could hurt somebody. If I've committed myself into a relationship with a woman that I love, I don't get to act on this instinct to conquer anymore. And it sucks also because men who are tied down in a relationship are more attractive to women. Yes, I said it. So stop acting in here like, come on now, be real. Men who are in a relationship already tend to be more attractive to women. Why? Because men can show that they could, these are men that have shown that they can commit. These are men that show that they can be responsible and that they can commit. Half the job is done of vetting the person because women want to find out if this dude is the kind of dude that you want to settle down with. If she already sees dude settled down, half the fucking vetting is done. It's over. It's done. So knock that shit off with the whole fucking men are dogs, men are dogs, men are dogs, because it's not just that men are dogs, it's that women tend to find men who are in relationships more attractive generally. Why? Because they shown that they can commit. Period. So you guys get to take, you got to carry some of that weight too. That's all I'm saying. You got to carry some of that weight too. It's not just on men and their desire to conquer.
Look, with the early on investigation, why are you going to kill yourself again? She was right in the middle of doing laundry. She was setting up photography, and she was, buying baby items. Not the mark of somebody who's getting ready to take their life typically. The very last thing that she said to me was that if something should happen to her, that he was the one responsible. I immediately asked her about getting a restraining order or an order of protection. And she said, no, that was too high up, or that he was too high up and he knew too many people and that it wouldn't do any good. I asked her about talking to the principal, the school psychologist, or calling the town police department. And she said no, that she was sure they would figure things out. I offered to go with her, but she declined. I did report this to the proper people who said that they would talk to her and get her the help if she needed it. I was sick to my stomach when we found out about her death. I really hope justice is done. So I just wanted to read that because I think it gives even more insight as to how victimized she truly was and where her headspace was at the time. I want to take a few questions.
Oh my God,
I
this is
hopefully
going to
got
piss me off.
the points across about the different types of predators. That there might be different types, meaning people that groom and victimize from a young age up until they think that they're going to be outed, like Stephen Stearns and Matthew Farwell. And then there's others, like Victor Hernandez, that victimize quickly and rapidly against people who are in vulnerable situations in terms of physically where they're at.
You know which couples almost never cheat on each other? Anybody want to guess? What type of couple almost never cheats on each other?
They're at, that they can get away with it. But at the end of the day, the mindset is the same.
No, not
And the
lesbians.
mindset is about
no,
control and about,
not Dominicans.
as
No,
Dan Carney put it,
not lesbians, not gays. No,
so
Jesus, they cheat
horribly.
just as much as anybody else. What do you mean?
It's about
There it is.
treating women as damaged goods.
There it is.
Because that's all they are to men like this.
Swingers. A lot of talk about swingers when it comes to the John O'Keefe, Karen Reed case. A lot of talk about swingers, right? But educate yourselves, because I've never known a swinger couple that wasn't totally fucking happy. You can't cheat. It's not cheating. I'm saying they do. It happens sometimes, but the point is, like, swingers take jealousy and possessiveness completely out of the equation. That's the whole point. They take jealousy and possessiveness completely out of the equation. So therefore, there's nothing there. What is cheating? Is cheating sleeping with someone else, or is cheating lying to your partner? Yeah, freaks, totally, sure. But I mean, we're not judging that, are we? We don't judge. We don't fucking kink shame here, do we? So I mean, what's cheating? Sleeping with somebody else or lying? It does happen with swingers. I'm not saying it doesn't happen with swingers. I'm not saying it doesn't happen with swingers. I'm saying it doesn't happen nearly as often. Because think about it. Think about it. If you take jealousy and possessiveness out of the equation, you're taking out 50% of what couples fight about. You take 50% of what couples fight about. You just took that away. The other 50% is money. They fight about money, right? Money and jealousy, money and fear that there's an insecurity in their relationship. I mean, that's fair. You can have your opinion. I'm just stating a fact. I'm stating a fact that swingers are less likely to cheat than regular traditional vanilla couples. Just saying. Amy in Boston, thank you so much. Or you just do you saying no defined relationships takes all that away. Not that I'm like this. Yeah, I mean, that's true too. That's the whole point. As long as you're honest with your partner. I mean, this live stream took a whole left turn here. But as long as you're honest with your partner, then you're not doing anything wrong. You know what I mean? Again, consenting adults. It's not an act of betrayal if your partner's in on it. Well, but you're talking about lies and manipulation. Nobody's talking about that right now, Cherry. Nobody's talking about lies. I'm saying I've already excluded the lies and manipulation. The lies and manipulation are the issue. I'm saying the lies and manipulation happen a lot less in the swinger lifestyle, as what I've seen with my own fucking eyes. I've seen couples that are just like the happiest you'll ever see couples, and it's fascinating to see. You're like, wow, okay. It's sure it's a little weird, because you're just like, okay, all right. Yeah. So that dude, okay, all right. But it works for them and they're happy. Why is swinging just plain wrong? Why is swinging just plain wrong? Because to me, that's the same thing as saying that being gay is just plain wrong. So, I mean, I'm probably going to regret asking that question. Because I don't want to get into that fucking conversation necessarily, but some of the happiest couples are widows as well. I mean, for some people it is. Dave's channel is my point. But you're never going to get a true understanding. Like, you're never going to get a true understanding of what a victim's mindset is or a perpetrator's mindset is if you're so quick to judge lifestyles that you don't truly understand. If you don't understand someone's preferences and things of that nature, and you're not more open to understanding these things, and you're just that quick to judge because you don't simply understand it, well, then you're not going to you're putting yourself at a greater risk of not understanding these cases better. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, it's naive to sit here and go, okay, well, I want to understand, why murder happens better. But then you just want to shut yourself off to everything else in the world that you don't fully understand, when those things could actually play a factor into a murder that you're following and trying to understand. You know what I mean? So you're just cheating yourself by being so close-minded and just being like, oh, well, that's, fuck all that. Those are bad people. Like, wait a minute. What makes them bad people? Exactly. Exactly. Takes a willingness to learn. Agreed. Yeah, you don't have to like agree with it. Just make a genuine effort to try to understand it. That's where empathy comes in. Make a genuine effort to try to understand what somebody else's mindset might be. Just because you don't understand it, it doesn't automatically make them a villain.
I'm going to take a couple of, yes, so sad, groomed. Yes, my gosh. Can I ask a question about Sebastian Rogers' case? Of course. I actually almost did Sebastian. Tomorrow I have.
Now, look, like, this is the kind of crowd that she attracts, And that's the thing. And it's interesting, buzzing for truth. I love it. We joke about the sex cult, right? But let's just say the sex cult was real. Again, let's just say that the sex cult is a real thing, right? For the sake of hypotheticals, right? Let's say the sex cult is real. And as long as it doesn't involve children or animals, what's the problem? What's the problem? Who are you to judge what anyone's beliefs are or what consenting adults do amongst each other? Who are you to judge that?
Have a really exciting show. I think exciting. I say it's exciting to me anytime that we can put a spotlight
Absolutely,
on a young woman
Amanda.
named Kimberly Moreau,
Absolutely.
who still hasn't been found. It's another just horrible situation. But
And Nicole Rico says, in the BDSM kink community, we respectfully say your kink is not my kink, instead of shaming others. Exactly. Right. Because you might be in a fucking BDSM sex club hanging out, and then somebody might be like, hey, do you mind cutting me and drinking my blood? I'm really into that. Hey, your kink is not my kink. And then conversation's over. And then they go back to fucking whipping each other and doing whatever the fuck they do. You know what I mean? Like that's all you got to do. There's no need to shame anybody for whatever they're into, as long as all the parties are consenting and adults.
But we're going to shine the spotlight back on it. It's been about 30 years since she went missing, and it mimics so many other cases that we see now where women go missing and they're treated a particular way by law enforcement initially, and then it's really ends up being too late and the cases aren't solved. So I look forward to having Kim's two sisters and her father on. He's 82 years old. He's going to be joining us with their thoughts, reflections, and to really recap the case. But yes, I am ready to answer any question you have on Sebastian, because I'm all over that probably for next week.
Caleb, I would assume that any self-respecting sexually active person is going to use, any self-respecting sexually active promiscuous person is going to use protection. I would assume they would. Anybody with any respect for society at all would do so. I would assume that it's probably a big rule. Stupid. Like, I don't want to hear this lady talk about Sebastian Rogers. Like, I'm also convinced that if you're talking about the Sebastian Rogers case, beyond, again, I'll say it again, beyond just sharing his description and information, and by information, I don't mean rumors about his family. If you're doing anything beyond just sharing his information, you're a piece of shit. Because that case is just fucked now because of all of the bullshit speculation and rumors. Like, I genuinely believe at this point that the YouTube true crime community has set back progress rather than helping it. It has set back the progress of law enforcement's ability to find missing people effectively. Anything high profile, social media has fucking destroyed that shit. And it's crazy because you would think that it would help it. Just the word of mouth and the perpetual shit, you know, saying the person's name over and over again. No, it doesn't, because people are too focused on the what happened rather than the where. Where are they? Rather than the where are they, they're focused on the what happened. And the what happened isn't your fucking job. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Tom CPU. I meant to check that. Let me do that now, actually. All right. All right. So, Cherry, I'm going to need you to do that. Try to find me a press conference. I don't know if a press conference is going to be taking place, but yeah. So apparently, somebody named Steve Cooper posted breaking: multiple law enforcement sources are telling me Governor Healy will be naming a new state police colonel to replace Jack Mon shortly. The new leader is from outside the department, is 7 News. This is massive, huge news. Okay? This is huge news because considering that the Massachusetts State Police only now, again, remember, we're sitting here talking about and celebrating that the Massachusetts State Police, they're conducting an internal investigation into multiple police officers who investigated the Karen Reed and John O'Keefe case, but also some that were in the involved in the Sandra Birchmore case. Now that the Sandra Birchmore case has gotten the attention that it's getting right now, and there is a police officer that is under arrest, and we now know common sense dictates that the Massachusetts State Police did not thoroughly conduct their case, did not thoroughly conduct their investigation. Excuse me. They did not thoroughly conduct their investigation to get Sandra justice 3 years ago. Well, then, the fact that the governor is now naming a new police colonel, someone to oversee the whole goddamn thing, that tells me that the internal investigation is bullshit and that the feds are coming. I guarantee you this is an act on the governor to appease the public because she knows that there's a hammer about to be drawn down. You know goddamn well that if indictments are coming to members of the Massachusetts State Police in numbers, The governor already knows about it. Guaranteed. All right. Thank you, Cherry. And please keep your eye out for a press conference or something here. Governor Healy names, Jeffrey D. Noble as Massachusetts State Police Colonel. Noble has 30 years of law enforcement experience, including as Lieutenant Colonel, second in command for New Jersey State Police. Governor Maura T. Healy today announced that she has selected retired Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey D. Noble. So this guy retired, and he came out of retirement, of the New Jersey State Police as the next colonel of the Massachusetts State Police. His selection comes as a result of a national search led by a search committee and executive search firm. Okay, give me just 1 second here. All right. Sorry, I got to because this is big news, so I gotta change some shit up here. Yeah, this is fucking crazy. This is a big deal. All right. Yeah, this is absolutely wild. All right, let me continue reading this. Sorry about that, guys. Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Noble has dedicated his career to public service, rising to the highest levels of the New Jersey State Police and delivering results on some of the most pressing issues facing law enforcement. He is a principled, respected leader who is widely praised for his integrity, compassion, and ability to bring people together. I'm confident that he is the leader that our hardworking state police team and people of Massachusetts deserve, said Governor Maura Healy. I also want to express my deepest gratitude and appreciation to Colonel Jack Mon for his stellar service and his steady leadership during this interim period. He has earned the respect of his colleagues and all who work with him, as well as the public, for his professionalism, his work ethic, and his integrity. He is a model for all of the men and women in the Massachusetts State Police and the generation of troopers to follow. Lieutenant Colonel Noble stood out as a candidate who has successfully navigated challenges during his 30-year career, and law enforcement has never wavered in his commitment to making sure everyone's voices were heard. Finding common ground and delivering solutions, said Lieutenant Governor Driscoll. Okay, this is interesting because it's a great thing, Amber E. I mean, it's potentially a good thing. I could explain why it's a good thing. So I'm gonna keep looking for stuff here. All right. So yeah, District Attorney Kevin Hayden posted, we joined the Mass Governor Healy in welcoming Jeffrey D. Noble, former here. I'll just share with you guys what I'm looking at here. Colonel Noble's deep experience in statewide law enforcement agencies make him an excellent pick for the job. So Howie Carr posted, grad of Mount St. Charles Academy in Rhode Island. You know who else went there years earlier? Ed Bradley of 60 Minutes and John Martirano, Winter Hill Hitman. Massachusetts State Police, Healy picks Jeffrey Noble as the new Massachusetts colonel, and that's the Boston Globe. And I have to subscribe to the Boston Globe to read Howie Carr's article, but he wrote an article on it. So yeah, I don't think there was a press conference. I think it was just a press release by the looks of things here. But let's do this. Let's do this. Let's find out as much as we can about this dude. I wonder if there's like a Wikipedia on this guy. Oh, I don't think there is. No Wikipedia on him yet. I want to find out as much as I can about this dude. Yeah. I mean, I find the timing of this extremely convenient. Extremely convenient. Very interesting. Hold on a second. I want to change my, actually no, I don't. It's fine. I'm not seeing any news stories about it. Let me see if there's any. No, there's still nothing here. No videos. Yeah, there's still no actual news like videos. So this is all very, very fresh, folks. This is breaking news. Okay, thank you, Scott. He's president of the Intercon Security Systems, and the pressers he was in go back to 2021. Yeah, it doesn't look like there is any, Cherry. So I find the timing of this very interesting. Because Karen Reed is now about to go on trial again after the fiasco that just took place. So there's clearly corruption in that regard, but that has nothing to do necessarily with the Massachusetts State Police as far as this going back to trial. What does have to do with the Massachusetts State Police, though, is that all of the key witnesses to prosecute Karen Reed that are necessary to prosecute Karen Reed are about to get fired if not have indictments handed down. Now, what I think is about to happen now, I think the reason why this governor made this decision is simply because, and this is coming from the governor, the governor made this decision simply because and brought this guy out of retirement. So that tells me that they were looking for somebody honest. They were looking for, this was the guy to do it. So, now I don't know how honest this guy is. I tried to find some stuff on him. I don't see anything on him. And I'm looking for, I looked for pressers and I didn't find them. So, so it sounds to me like, and I'm hoping this is the case. It sounds to me like Josh Levy's office taking the action that they took against Matthew Farwell got a lot of people talking. And it got a lot of people calling the governor's office going, hey, what about these other cops? What about the cops that investigated this case? And what the fuck is going on with the John O'Keefe Karen Reed case? How much is it going to take for you to do something here? And there's an election coming up. The governor of Massachusetts at this point cannot afford to sit on her hands and not do something when it comes to this case. There's too many eyes on it now. And why are there so many eyes on it now? Because of, I'm going to give the credit, at least the timing merits the credit of those who organized and participated in the national standout. That impacted a lot. That got a lot of people talking. That got a lot of eyes on everything. Now, I believe that before the standout took place, that they were already in the talks of trying to find somebody to replace it, and they just went public with this now. Once the decision was made, once they vetted a few people, once they got and made an offer of money and what a contract was going to be, then they made the public announcement. That's what I think absolutely happened. But yeah, that's where I'm going to give credit to right now is those standouts. Those standouts got a lot of people talking. And Sandra Birchmore's case having this major development taking place of Matthew Farwell's arrest also got people talking. And so now what's going to happen is the governor gets to say, hey, I took action. I did what I could do. If the problem's in the Massachusetts State Police, well, then I'm just going to have to replace the Massachusetts State Police. Now, I'd be interested in finding out what she's going to do about Michael Morrissey, because if she replaced the police chief, if she replaced the head of the Massachusetts State Police, if she replaced him, well, then I wonder if she is going to be willing to replace Michael Morrissey from the Norfolk County DA's office. And I don't know if she can do that because Michael Morrissey is he's voted in. Now, if nobody runs against him, he just gets he's grandfathered in the next term because nobody ran against him. Nancy Joe M. became a new member. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But I'll be really interested to find out if she takes some sort of action against Michael Morrissey. Because this all boils down to Michael Morrissey. Make no mistake about that. Everything boils down to Michael Morrissey. The Massachusetts State Police, or at least in that part of the Massachusetts, the Massachusetts State Police work directly under Michael Morrissey. They follow his orders. They execute his needs and wants. So right. I'm with you on that, Cherry. You can put lipstick on a pig. Now, again, that's this all until Michael Morrissey is until I see federal indictments, I'm going to look at the governor doing this as just a way to pacify the people of Massachusetts. Now, it is a big deal because it means one or both of two things. And those two things are the people demanding justice and demanding change be made have made an impact, and now the governor's listening, or she doesn't want to seem complicit, and she doesn't want to seem like she's not doing anything because she knows indictments are coming. And if she knows indictments are coming, then people are going to wonder, why didn't you take any action? How could you allow the Massachusetts State Police to operate in the manner in which it was operating, knowing that they were going to start handing out these indictments? How could you be so complicit, Governor Healy? So that's what she's trying to avoid. I'm going to say both. I'm going to say it's both of those things. Yeah, I mean, how he handles, yeah, that's a side issue, but it's a big issue. How he will present an understanding to the protesters, I don't know, but I'm hoping that he does. I'm hoping that he is First Amendment driven, constitutionally driven. I hope he lives up to his. I mean, any sworn in law enforcement officer is sworn to uphold the Constitution. So therefore, I would assume that somebody who's in that position of elite leadership is going to is hopefully is going to do better, because a lot of eyes are on him right now. All right. Press conference. Not on that though. Thank you, Cherry, for that. There's a press conference on the school shooting, so I do want to get an update on that. The school shooting in Georgia.
Okay, I got myself trapped into a mic check for the bird here. All right, I'm gonna go and pop it up just a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 dB. Holy moly. Okay.
Now, again, this is the press conference in regards to the school shooting.
All right, coming back now to try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Checking. All right, look at that. Can I put in for audio too?
I love hot mics. Love hot mics.
They're acting like they're.
Yeah, we just got to wait. As far as the new chief, sorry, I'm going to be bouncing back and forth from subject to subject. As long as the new chief is on the up and up, but I think that I don't find the timing to be coincidental in regards to that.
Tenga toda la prensa parada aquí y le dicen que hasta las 4:30, después de que ya nos dijeron a las 4.
Oh, there's some interesting tweets from Turtle Boy. I've got one here that says, breaking news, sources tell me that Jennifer McCabe told Karen Reed when Karen spoke with her that morning that Jen had called her sister Nicole to see if John had ever left Brian Albert's house. McCabe told Reed that she spoke with Nicole, who told her that John wasn't there. We now know that McCabe never called her sister until 6:07 when she was outside the house. This was an intentional lie meant to delay Karen from going back to 34 Fairview. Yeah, I gonna have to say I'm in agreement with that. Absolutely.
Atención, mejor no te muevas porque te ganan el juego. No, pero deja ahí el trípode. Se lo aviento por allá. Primero que se lo va a tomar. No, aquí están, todos están transmitiendo en vivo, no quieren que ni te acerques.
Hi, Piney Woods Law and Crime. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. We're about to get the full assessment of what took place there. At Appalachian High School.
Nosotros venimos hasta aquí y era el caos. Nos tocó que haber caminado como 2 millas.
Oh, wow.
¿Sabes que no ha hecho nada?
Okay. Gregor Smith, dude. Gregor Smith's all up in my chat talking about you got real pretty hair, news lady. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that news conference. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. All right. Let's check in with our correspondent real quick.
Give up on
What's
that.
up, Frosty?
No,
No.
that's kind of sad in itself.
That's a little sad in itself, dude. Like, get your shit together, bro. You all right?
But I never really wanted it before.
Never really wanted what?
I guess. Should I want it more?
That's a really good
I think
question.
so. I'm just saying. If it shows up again, let's just say it does.
Okay.
I got a horseshoe up my ass for fucking loving girls, loving chicks.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Chicks.
I somehow managed
Gotcha.
to attract another fucking female that is able to love me.
All right.
Okay.
I'm with you. Another chick that's able to love you. We're talking about
Probably act differently than I have in the past.
talking about Bigfoot and unicorns too, right? All right, we'll check back in with you soon, buddy. We love you. MC Frosty, everybody. Yeah, this is still live, but I don't know what's going on with the feed for the for Fox Orlando for the press conference. Oh, okay. They're waiting for the guy with the update. He's running late. Thank you. There we go. We're back. Hey, my name's Gregor. How you doing, news lady? You got real pretty hair. I guess they figured out that hot mic. Y'all ever see that movie where Gregor Smith was hitchhiking and they and the lady like hit him with her car and he just spent the whole time like thanking her, like half dead. Talk about thanks for the ride, lady. Thanks for the ride, lady. You horror fans know what I'm talking about. You horror fans know exactly what I'm talking about. Thanks for the ride, lady. No, it's not Stephen King. It's not Stephen King. Thanks. Yeah, I know, Gregor Smith. I'm just giving you shit, buddy. Gregor Smith was like, I said healthy. I know. Yeah. Dude, listen. The truth is, guys, Gregor Smith sells shampoo, bro. He's the guy in charge who balances the pH in the in the lab, in the shampoo lab. Okay? It's a very important job. pH balance, that's Gregor Smith. That's got him all over it. Okay. So he sees that she's got healthy hair, and he's like, that was me. I did that. So y'all quit judging Gregor Smith, y'all. Knock it off. Okay. We're grateful to Gregor Smith's contribution to hair care products. Thank you. Appreciate it, Gregor Smith. We love you, buddy. No animal testing either. See, look at that. Gregor Smith is a hero, people. Okay. Look at Cherry talking like she knows that movie. Not King. Like she's a fucking Stephen King aficionado and shit. That wasn't King. She doesn't even say Stephen. She just says King. That wasn't King. That was Creepshow. Okay. Okay. All of a sudden, Cherry's a fucking horror movie snob. I love it. That's not. It's one. It's. I could see how it could be confused as King's earlier work, but. What's up, Kelly Reed? It's good to see you. So, all right. So while we're killing time, you guys know the story. So I'm gonna do this one more time because I had to delete that live. So this is for the people with the replay. If you guys saw this early, I'm gonna tell this story one more time because Kelly Reed, this story's for you. Don't go nowhere, okay? Because you're gonna fucking love this. All right, so let me show you guys something real quick. This is again for the people who are catching replay or didn't catch the live stream that I had on earlier that I ended. Let me show you a little something here.
Is it possible that you hit him with the back of your car and just didn't realize it?
The trial of Karen Reed is now underway.
She's accused of second-degree murder, pleading not guilty.
A murder that continues to tear apart an entire town.
It's the true crime story of the summer.
This is a beloved police officer
in
the
the
local community.
His body discovered in a pile of snow.
I remember pounding on my dresser, like literally screaming, like, not John, over and over.
Did you say that you were angry with John that night?
Yes.
His girlfriend, Karen Reed, accused of his murder.
She's accused of killing her boyfriend, a Boston police officer.
It's the crime dividing a city.
Now, be patient, Kelly Reed, because there's a method to my madness here. I'm sure you're already aware of this, but I'm going to show you something.
They are protesting in favor of Karen Reed, saying she is innocent.
Who cheers for someone accused of murdering a police officer?
I do think she's been framed, and I'm not backing down till she gets free.
And now the woman at the center of it is speaking out.
Now, exclusive personal video, one-on-one with Karen Reed 1 week before her trial.
I'm confident I'm doing everything I can, and that includes looking professional for court. I just got the suit from the tailor because the sleeves are too long, and it's a pet peeve of my mother's to see people with sleeves that are too long. Tailor because the sleeves are too long, and it's a pet peeve of my mother's to see people with sleeves that are too long. Tailor because the sleeves are too long, and it's a pet peeve of my mother's to see people with sleeves that are too long. Tailor because the sleeves are too long, and it's a pet peeve of my mother's to see people with sleeves that are too long.
Are you paying attention? I'm going to play that one more time. Pay close attention, Kelly Reed.
It seems everyone has
Too long, and it's looking professional for court. I just got the suit from the tailor because the sleeves are too long, and it's a pet peeve of my mother's to see people with sleeves that are too long.
Okay, now, Kelly Reed. So, for those of you who weren't watching before, let me show you guys a little something here. Okay. Now, this is me the day that I met. Not only did I meet Karen Reed's mother, okay? Not only did I meet her that day, okay? This is what I was wearing. Do you see? Look very close. See that right there? And wearing that jacket, wearing this jacket, I was sitting next to Karen Reed's mother the entire day. The entire day, people. Okay? Now I gotta know, Kelly Reed, did she say something? Did she say something? Like, here I am, and I made it again. I told everybody this earlier. I had to end my earlier live stream, and I talked about it. I made it a point not even to smoke any cigarettes, like not even smoke a cigarette and then wash my hands. I wanted to make sure that that my company was as pleasant as it could possibly be, sitting in this uncomfortable situation all day long next to Karen Reed's mother. Okay. Sweetest lady I ever met in my fucking life. Okay. Super sweet lady. And I wore this jacket, right? I just got this fucking jacket, and I was like, whatever. Okay. It's not that serious. I don't ever dress like this. I never dress up. So I don't really give a shit. And so, so I so I was actually kind of self-conscious about it. I remember spending the day like, fuck. And if you remember correctly, as soon as court was over, I couldn't wait to take the jacket off, right? The entire time we were at the waterfall, I was not wearing the jacket. This was the reason why, was because I was actually self-conscious about the sleeves not being tailored to my fitting, right? But I was also like, what the fuck? I'm going to be in court this one day. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. Whatever. I'll be sitting down. It's not a thing. But little did I know that the person who in this situation I respect probably more than everybody, or at least more than most people that are in this situation. I respect Karen Reed's mom and dad more than anybody, because they are there just like you are, Kelly Reed, like right next to her, supporting her, fighting this fight right by her side. And here I am sitting next to this woman whose pet peeve is sleeves that are too long, And I was sitting next to her the entire day with her pet peeve, like literally like our knees were fucking touching at times because of how close we were sitting in that very tight courtroom. What's Kelly saying here? Hold on. We loved having you, and we appreciate all your time and effort with the Karen's case. Okay, well, that's great. That tells me that she totally fucking said something. That is the response that I would expect, that is to avoid whether or not Karen's mom said something about my grotesquely long, untailored sleeved sport jacket that I wore sitting next to her the entire day. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. As soon as I saw that trailer, I was just like, dude, God damn it. I was like, really? Because like I remembered immediately feeling self-conscious about my long ass sleeves. I remember feeling really self-conscious about it. So that's that. That's that little anecdote there, Kelly Reed. I thought you'd find that amusing. Stephanie gifted 10 memberships. Oh my God. Stephanie, thank you so much. Oh, wrong one. My bad. Wow. All right, let's see. Still nothing on the press conference, but I'll pull it up anyway. Keep that pulled up. So we're just going to hang out a little while. We're at least going to ride out this press conference and see what happens, because I'm curious to know what the developments are. But no, I'm absolutely grateful. I'm absolutely grateful, Kelly Reed, that your family invited me and were so kind to me when I was there. Thank you so much. Kelly Reed says, on my life, I never heard a single word about your sleeves, only about how kind you were and how much they loved you. Honest, you missed my first message. Okay. All right. I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you. I really appreciate it, Kelly. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much better that makes me feel. You have no idea how much better that makes me feel. Because like the words pet peeve. So all I could think about is just like Karen's mom just being so fucking annoyed with me sitting there next to her the entire day. Sleeve gate, absolutely. And then months later, I gotta like just randomly watch a trailer for a documentary that I've been looking forward to coming out because I knew they were making it. And the only thing that you hear Karen Reed say pretty much is, I just got this suit back from the tailor because my mom's pet peeve is long sleeves. Sleeves that are too long. I was like, oh my God. I love you too, Patricia White. Thank you. Yeah, this is the school press conference. I'm going to keep checking Twitter, though, to see what's going on with this Jeffrey Noble guy. But I'm not seeing anything. Just the district attorney, Kevin Hayden, I don't know what county he's from, but this press conference is taking forever. I wanted to open up the phone lines, but I don't know if that's going to happen today. Clever, did you eat all your food, buddy? He's thirsty. Like a boy. Oh, that's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. We don't talk about men's appearances like that. Maybe we should talk about Yuri's French cuffs. Stop it. Stop it right now. You guys talk about men's appearances. And if we overheard you, we would fucking die from just feeling mortified. Gender discrimination by 4 female New Jersey police. Well, that's not good. But I need confirmation on that before I look into that. Yeah, right. That Clever slurping like Turtle Boy in the background. Y'all are killing me, dude. Poor Turtle Boy, man. Like people giving him shit in his chat just because my man is like. Oh, so maybe he was forced to retire. How long will YouTube keep Turtle Boy's channel down? I have no idea. I have no idea. His appeal was denied, so I don't know how long that's going to take. So I don't know. Check 1, check 2, sibilance. Until tomorrow. Okay, right on. That's good. Okay, so not that long. All right, right on. So hopefully we'll get a stream from Turtle Boy on YouTube tomorrow. And he'll be back on YouTube this Saturday. Gotcha. Okay. Thanks for the ride, lady. Okay, thank you, Dina. He didn't get the boot. Just people like fucking trolls keep mass reporting his channel, and you know, YouTube just ends up in a position where they got to do something, and it sucks. And it sucks because like if with that kind of people with people just targeting him like that, that means if he wants to keep his channel, he's gonna have to like clean his shit up. And it sucks that he's not gonna be able to be himself if that's the case. So it's just a question of what he's gonna do, you know. But it's it's just, you know, what does that say about you if you're so quick to just try to silence somebody, man? I mean, yeah, probably. I don't know. But the thing is they remove your channel for that shit. You know? Like that shit happened like but I think like when it came to canceled Karen, I think that the reason why they canceled her channel was because she was like she was actually sued. So YouTube was probably just like, all right, well, between the complaints and the lawsuit, it's just not a good look for us to be in a partnership with you. So you need to get the fuck out of here. Hello, check. Yeah, I'll have a vodka and a splash of Crystal Light. While I'm setting up the mics. All right, thank you. At the end of the day, it's like 0 dick mics. Yeah, not one dick mic. Not one clip massager for a mic. Not one. Plevin, dude. Plevin would feel so lost. Plevin would be like, does anybody want to borrow my mic? Is anybody sure? I've got a perfectly good mic here. Does anybody want to borrow it? Does your wife want to borrow it? Now, I did the math, and I'm telling you that this microphone will cause multiple orgasms on your significant other. Just look at it. Now, I follow facts and evidence, folks. The facts and the evidence say that this mic will vibrate at a speed faster than Karen Reed can back her car up. Okay? All you have to do is hold it up to that part of your body that causes women orgasms. I couldn't tell you which part that is because I don't know. I've never seen it. I've never heard of it, but that's what they tell me.
Good afternoon. I am Chris Hosen, Director of the
There we
Georgia
go.
Bureau of Investigation.
This is as loud as it
We
goes,
wanted to
people. I'm
come
sorry.
back, this afternoon and present you with a little more of a timeline of the events that have taken place here today and what we know up to this point with the investigation. At approximately 10:20 a.m. this morning, the Bear County Sheriff's Office received alerts about reports of an active shooter and radio traffic school resource officers concerning the same concern or having the same concern. Within minutes, law enforcement was on scene, as well as 2 school resource officers assigned here to the school who immediately encountered the subject within just minutes of this report going out. Once they encountered the subject immediately surrendered to these officers and he was taken into custody. Additionally, what I want you to know as of
Nice.
now,
They got him
there are 4
before he could unalive himself.
individuals who are deceased from this incident, 9 that have been taken to local hospitals with various injuries. Of those that have
4 dead,
deceased,
9
2 were
injured.
students and 2 were teachers here at the school.
2 students, 2 teachers dead.
Priority right now for us within this investigation is to gather all the facts, to make sure that we're accurate with it, because this is a murder investigation. As the sheriff mentioned earlier this morning, the shooter is in custody. His name is Colt, that's Colt Gray. He is a 14-year-old student.
Oh my
here
God.
at the school.
Jesus.
Gray. He is a 14-year-old student here at the high school. Again, he has been taken into custody. He will be charged with murder and he will be tried as an adult and handled as an adult. We're coordinating these charges and obviously this investigation with District Attorney Brad Smith, who is the District Attorney for the Piedmont Judicial Circuit here. Since earlier this morning we talked with you and since the incident occurred, numerous interviews have been taking place through our investigation with students, faculty, as well as any other witnesses that we could identify. Law enforcement had a very, very swift response to this incident once the incident was determined that there was a concern here. Those resources, whether it was in that response or throughout this investigation to assist, came obviously from the sheriff's office here, from other local law enforcement agencies, state law enforcement agencies, and federal law enforcement agencies as well. To include, not to be left out, multiple EMS personnel, multiple fire personnel, and agencies. Those agencies responded here as well today, and I am extremely grateful, as I know the sheriff is, for that quick response and the partnerships of working here together with what all has gone on. Currently, from the investigative perspective, we have crime scene agents and other special agents from the GBI, from close to a dozen of our different work units.
I'll be
across the
surprised if
state,
they have a motive yet.
that have responded here today to work on this investigation. Again, collecting evidence, conducting interviews, and so forth. I do want to pass this along, that if anyone has any information that wants to be passed on concerning this investigation, that they can do that anonymously at our tip line.
Yeah, they definitely don't have a motive.
597-TIPS or 1-800-597-8477. They can also report this on by downloading the See Something, Send Something app. They can be done by Android or Apple phones, either one. If they need to report any tips concerning this investigation. Let me close out before I turn this over to the sheriff and let you just remind you that this is still a very active investigation. There is still a lot that is very fluid. There's still a lot of interviews to be conducted that will continue on into the night, as well as crime scene work and collecting and gathering evidence. But what is more important for me to mention here to you is my heartfelt sympathy to the parents, the students that were here today. Regardless of where they were in the school, this has got a great impact on them as well as on this community. My thoughts and prayers, along with everybody standing behind me and every law enforcement agency in this state, and many I will tell you around this country, they are in our thoughts and prayers, and we will continue with that. We ask for your patience as we continue through this, and we'll continue to try to give you as many updates with information as we can.
Caleb, he's 14.
But thank you for being here.
He said
I'm now gonna
14.
Turn it over to Bexar County Sheriff Judge Smith. Thank you. H-O-S-E-Y.
Yeah, Claire Terry, he was actually 14.
Good afternoon. I'm Sheriff Judge Smith of the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. I never imagined that I would be speaking to the media in my career over something that happened today, the pure evil that happened today. I cannot thank the people behind me for the support they give me today, to give this office and give this staff. This hits home for me. I was born and raised here. I went to school in this school system. My kids go to this school system. I'm proud of this school system. My heart hurts for these kids. My heart hurts for our community. But I want to make it very clear that hate will not prevail in this county. I want that to be very clear and known. Love will prevail over what happened today. I assure you of that. It is very early as to what happened. Governor Kemp reached out to me and has provided me every single resource that he has to make sure justice prevails. I don't know why it happened. I may not ever know. We may not ever know. But I ask that you and our community lift up our schools, lift up our public safety, and that, again, we do not let this hateful event prevail as to what happened today. I want to thank the surrounding agencies and counties and cities and state and federal authorities that have come and provided us, because they prevented a lot of more tragic events from happening. Continue to lift up these families, continue to lift up our students and our kids, and know that love will prevail. At this time, I'm going to ask Dr. LaDuff, our school superintendent, to come and speak on behalf of the school.
Good afternoon. I'm Dallas LaDuff. I'm the superintendent of Bexar County School System. I want to thank the Bexar County Sheriff's Office and all of our law enforcement partners for their swift response today, along with that of our staff. I'd also like to thank our community for their response and patience as we work to reunify the students with their families here today and secure the rest of our school campuses. Our schools will be closed for the remainder of this week as we cooperate fully with law enforcement to get answers to the many questions that we all have about this incident here today. But as we are closed, our central offices will remain open, where we will have grief counseling available for our community every day this week and thereafter as we support each other through this terrible event. In closing, I just want to say to our community, as a school system, we are here for you. We support you, and we are ready to get you any support that you may need as we grieve through this together. Thank you.
Sheriff, you're saying hate will not prevail in this community. Are you investigating this as some sort of hate crime?
Well, shortly, if someone decides to take a firearm into a school where kids are given an education or entitled to an education and want to harm others, to me, it's hateful.
Sheriff, can you talk about the initial interaction between whoever was able to stop the shooter? Can you describe that to us? How did it go down? What exactly happened for us?
Obviously, the shooter was armed, and our school resource officer engaged him. And the shooter quickly realized that if he did not give up, that it would end with an OIS, or an officer-involved shooting. He gave up, got on the ground, and the deputy took him into custody.
Sheriff, any idea how the weapon got inside the school? And was there any warning that this was going to happen?
Not that I'm aware of. Again, very early, and we're still looking into that, whether or not, or how he obtained it and how he got it in the school.
Sure. Has he been in touch at all with his parents or his family to learn more about what led up to these moments?
We have.
Any information you can share?
No.
What kind of It seems like you have a large Hispanic population. Have you been able to communicate with the people in their language to make sure that everybody knows what's happening?
Yes, sir. I have. The school and our office has people that speak in Spanish, and they have spoke to those folks as well. Yes.
Sheriff, is the shooter speaking with the law enforcement now?
Sorry.
Is the shooter talking? Is he saying why?
The shooter was interviewed, and he was speaking with our investigators earlier, along with the GBI. It is helping our investigation. None that I'm aware of.
Were all 9 injured victims shot?
In some capacity, yes.
Sheriff, can you tell us about the 2 individuals deceased and was one targeted?
We don't know of any targets at this point.
Clubber, stop.
We're not identified. We have not identified that at this point. No.
Sheriff, is there a connection?
This is the last question I'm going to take.
Sheriff, is there a connection between the shooter and the victims?
None that I'm aware of.
I know that you have a lot of questions about the student and that we mentioned that we identified earlier. Keep in mind that that's part of our investigation. That we're looking into every aspect.
Right. They don't have those answers yet. Everything still has to be confirmed before they release it to the press. So even if they hear something, they're not going to say it unless they have that information like in data.
The shooter is a student, yes.
When can we expect
We do not know how many rounds.
Has that shooter had any past history of law?
This is Appalachia High School. It's just outside of Atlanta.
It is an active investigation. I assure you, we do plan to come back out here in a couple of hours. Please make sure you're following the GBIX page. That's where we're going to be putting the updates. If there's anything that's new, we'll make sure that we share that information. It's still very early. Investigators have a lot of work to do. We appreciate your patience. Do expect another in-person news conference out here in the next few hours. Monitor the X page, and we'll be sure to update you accordingly. Thank you.
And that's the on x.com.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I think that's it. All right. So, okay. I mean, I didn't expect there'd be a lot of information. The kid's name is Colt Gray. And that's interesting. If you guys know anything about guns, that is that's the name of a rifle. So I'm wondering if the kid's dad has a bunch of guns around the house and is a proud gun owner to the point to where he named his kid after a gun. That's just going to be fucking fantastic for Second Amendment people. Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay. Sorry. You just got a great email. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get some updates on that. I mean, I'm not going to follow that too closely. At least I'm not going to cover it too closely. Kid's only 14. I'm curious about it and I'm going to follow it, and I'll touch on it here and there, but I'm not going to make it, content. Really, but I'll discuss it, if anything real pressing turns up. And I am following the Georgia Bureau of Investigation as well. Yeah, this is wild. Yeah. Yeah, of course you do, Scott. I would expect you to. Shit. Or I would expect that you do. But yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, listen, I'm not trying to spark a debate on gun control here. I'm not trying to do that. If there's ever a worse time to have that debate, it's right when there's a mass shooting. So I'm not about to start that debate. So yeah. Um yeah, so very eventful day. Very sad day for those four folks, two teachers, two students. Very sad. And I hope their loved ones get through this easily, and I hope justice is swift. 14 years old or not, you know. But I hope that if it's an issue that is beyond his control, that he gets the help he needs. Reality check sent. Okay. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. Thank you, reality check. Appreciate it. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It just boils down to, like, if he's not accountable, then his parents are accountable. Somebody needs to be held accountable for this. The bottom line is that if he's 14 years old, and he had mental health issues, there had to have been signs, and it's up to the parents to see those signs. Um, and especially if you're going to keep firearms in the house. And I'm just assuming, I think it's a pretty safe assumption that there were guns in the house, considering that a 14-year-old got a hold of guns. And second, the kid is named after a fucking gun. So I'm going to assume that there were guns in the house and that this child had access to them. So this is a problem. Yeah, I was gonna open the phone lines, but I think I'm gonna call it. But let me close with this thought. Couple of thoughts actually. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way where we can watch that 2020 special live together. Chances are I won't be able to stream it, but we can experience it together in some way, shape, or form. I'm gonna try to figure that out. I won't bring my sleeves, and we'll have a nice time. Now, I'm gonna get with Cherry behind the scenes about that, and then we'll try to figure that out. I may, I don't know. Again, I'm gonna get with Cherry about that, and then we'll figure it out. Now, as far as this Jeff Noble guy being named the new colonel of the Massachusetts State Police, I find the timing to be interesting. I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence that Karen Reed changed her profile pic just a week ago to about a week ago to the letter from Josh Levy's office. I don't think it's from Josh Levy's office to Michael Morrissey's office. Excuse me. I also don't think it's a coincidence that just after that happening, Sandra Birchmore's murderer gets arrested for murder, and groomer and abuser Matthew Farwell, he gets arrested for her murder. I don't think that's a coincidence. I also don't think it's a coincidence that right after that, there's this naming of the new Massachusetts State Police colonel. So I do believe justice is coming, and I do believe that this nightmare is going to be over for Karen Read quite soon. And by the looks of things, we can hope that this justice will take place swiftly and promptly before Karen Read's next trial date. So let's hope that happens. But I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for coming back and joining me after I had to end that first live. Amber E gifted 5 memberships. Oh my God. Congrats to those who got memberships. Thank you so much. And gonna go ahead and wrap this up, folks. Thank you guys for all of your support. Thank you for liking the stream. Please make sure to like it on your way out if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And to all you new subscribers, thank you. I really hope you guys continue to enjoy the channel. I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.